What is up, guys? It is Dadbod here. Welcome back to the walkthrough. We are here in Stormveil Castle. We're going to close it out today. All we got to do is get past Godrick. He's the last boss of this dungeon that we're in. So we're going to take him out next. If you remember, last time we bought a shield called the Buckler. I said that this is the shield that I use primarily for when I want to parry an enemy. I will let you know that this is your last chance to use to use Godrick as a merchant for a good while. So if you want to pick up that buckler, I would suggest doing it now. The only other way you're going to get to do it before a good while is if you actually kill him and take his bell bearing back to the merchant in Roundtable Hold, which will lock you out of his quest line for the rest of the game. He does not have a major quest line, but you will miss out on something by the end of the game that isn't super duper important. You can get a bunch of other of these items that you would get from him anyways. But anyways, my goal is to keep the NPC quest lines intact, and that means not killing them to do that. So last chance to use him as a merchant without killing him for a while. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so here you can summon in Nepheli. As I said, if you summon in NPCs to the fight, it will increase the boss's health pool. Alternatively, if you use your Spirit Ashes, they will not increase the boss's health pool. Granted, in this fight, your Spirit Ashes probably aren't going to last a while. He will take them out pretty quickly. Actually, one thing, I think I can upgrade my flask. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think I can. Let me check. Yes, because we got that second golden seed from killing the... I forget what the name of the thing was. That thing that we fought down, way down at like the basement of the castle. I keep wanting to call it the cursed rotted greatwood. That's Dark Souls 3. It's ulcerated tree spirit. Yeah, that's what they're called, I believe. So anyway, once we go in here, we're gonna trigger the cutscene. I'm gonna chug my flask just to be buffed up when the fight starts. And let's go.
Mighty dragon, thou'rt a true-born heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred. Deliver me unto greater heights. Well. A lord, I command thee, kneel. I am the lord of all that is golden.
Okay, I'm gonna start things off by summoning my Spirit Ashes. As I say, it's probably gonna take him out pretty quick because he has a lot of like wide sweeping AoE type attacks. Like Margit, a lot of his attacks are quite delayed, as you could see. And so that makes the timing really difficult to nail down. So that one, he's going to do a gravity attack. So he thrusts his axe in the ground once, and then he does it again a second time. The way to dodge that is to jump at the right time. When he does this kind of whirlwind AoE, he's going to roll around and go airborne. This is actually a really great attack to punish. He actually didn't go airborne there because I think I was too far away from him. He took out my Spirit Ashes there, which will be good for me teaching you guys his moves, unlike what I was not able to do for Margit. He's got some pretty nasty combos, but all right, here he's probably going to do his airborne roly-poly. Here we go. And you dodge this attack. This is a great opportunity for a Bloodhound's Finesse. Get out of the way. You see how delayed his attacks are there? And this is actually like a 5 or 6 hit combo, and he's got a lot of range with that combo, as you can see. Just his attacks in general, he's got a lot of range, and you see how delayed those windups are. It makes it really tricky to nail down the timing on it. His easiest attack to punish in his first phase, honestly, is probably that whirlwind tilt-a-whirl thing that he does. There we go. He's going to do it again. So once he goes airborne, just would dodge, and I'm going to do a Bloodhound's Finesse right here. And we got him to second phase. So when he gets to his second phase, he's going to hit his arm with his axe. You do not want to be close to him when he does that because you'll actually take damage from him hitting his own arm. I'm going to talk real quick during this cutscene. When he starts the second phase, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to blow fire at you. You can actually dodge this attack and punish it right away, kind of get some free hits. You run straight at him, slightly to your right. You'll get around him right when the second phase starts, and you'll get some free hits. I'll show you real quick when it starts up.
Truest of dragons. Lend me thy strength.
All right, here we go. Run straight into your right, and you'll dodge this attack. I'm going to do a jumping heavy and then a Bloodhound's finesse. And I got a stagger on him. You may or may not get the stagger, but if you do, take advantage of it. So I'm going to take some time to show off his moves in the second phase. A lot of them are similar, but he does have these fire attacks. He has this one where he'll walk around with his dragon arm pointed at the ground. And you see that that these attacks, look how far away from him, and that almost hit me. So just know you got to be pretty far away from him. He does have quite a bit of range. He had that, similar to that wind AoE tilt-a-whirl that he had in the first phase. He has the same thing in the second phase, except it's fire-based. He has an attack where he'll shoot fireballs in the air. So a lot of similarities to his first phase. So here's his tilt-a-whirl. He's going to do the same thing, except it's, well, that one he didn't do his tilt-a-whirl because I think I was too far away from him. Kind of like what I was in the first time he did in the first phase. But so here he does, he's doing the walk around with his dragon shooting at the floor, which you still have to be kind of far away from him. He will do the hit the ground with his axe to do like the earth AoE damage. And you have to jump to dodge that. I'm going to see if he can do it, if I can get him to do it in the second phase. And then he's doing his walk around attack. You can see you can kind of get behind him when he does that and sort of punish him. Let's see. So there's his fireball attack. I'm trying to get him to do his AoE attack if he'll do it. All right, so let's see. He'll do his. There we go. He's doing his airborne. That's almost exactly the same attack that he does in his first phase. That's his grab attack. You do not want to get grabbed by him. It won't be an instant kill if you have full HP, but it'll be pretty punishing damage. Oh, I just ran off the edge. Oh my gosh. I was trying to show you guys his moves, and I ran right off the edge. That was unfortunate. So now I feel like I've done a good enough job showing you his moves. I can't believe I did that. Now that I feel like I've done a good enough job showing off his moves, I'm just going to go straight for the kill in this attempt. So, especially after failing to do so with Margit, I feel like I really owed it to you guys to give you a really solid overview of Godrick's moves, for better or worse. I'm going to chug my physique flask. I'm not going to summon my wolves here because I want to conserve the FP for my Bloodhound's finesse. Normally he follows that up with his aerial attack, but in that case he did his projectile attack. Which the aerial attack, of course, is easier to punish. And I said, there's the delay. The effect of his delayed hits. I dodged too early. I misjudged the timing on that. You see how that can be pretty punishing. Alright, do your aerial attack. There we go. Do a Bloodhound's Finesse here. And that'll get him close to his second phase. There we go. Second phase. Same as last time, run straight at him, jump attack, Bloodhound's Finesse. That time did not get the stagger, but that's okay. There's the stagger. Instead of running around trying to showcase his moves, I'm just going to get the kill as soon as I can get the hit. All right, do your aerial. There you go. And we are done here, folks.
I am the Lord of all that is golden.
Don't do what I did. Don't run off the edge. Don't run off the edge.
To our home, bathed in rays of gold.
All right, so we got our first great rune. It says the great runes you receive by defeating Shardbearers have lost their beneficial power. However, their power can be restored at the divine towers throughout the lands between. See the description of each great rune to discover which divine tower you should visit. So we got that, and we got the Remembrance. So the Remembrance is for those of you familiar with Dark Souls, these are similar to the boss souls that you can use to trade in for boss weapons, essentially, or boss spells. You can also consume them for runes. We'll see what they're about in just a bit later on in this episode. So let's check out the Great Rune. Let's see here. So, Great Rune of the Shardbearer Godrick, devoid of any benediction. Seek the Divine Tower of Limgrave, which stands beyond the Great Bridge from Stormveil Castle. So if you remember in the last episode, we unlocked this side of Grace right here, which leads us to this bridge. So all the way here is the Divine Tower that we're going to use to activate Godrick's Great Rune. For now, we can rest right here and level up. See, I'll put, let's see, got enough for 3 levels. Nice. So I'll put 2 of them into Vigor. I'll put 1 more into Endurance. That sounds great. Actually, I'm going to put 1 into Vigor, 1 into Endurance, and 1 into Strength. Because as I said, I'm going to start building up my Strength a bit, because there are going to be some weapons later on that we need more strength to use. So after you beat the boss and rest of that side of Grace, Gostock's going to warp over here, stomping on Godrick's head.
Lord, you were. Oh, this weasel was... Godrick was always looking down on me. He got what he bloody deserved thanks to you. I tell you though, what goes around comes around. He had an ugly heart, an uglier countenance, and met the ugliest of ends, eh?
Okay, so he is no longer a merchant, and he will not be a merchant again until much later in the game. So if you do not have the buckler and want the buckler and you want it now, you're going to have to kill him. You will be missing out on a... maximum upgrade stone to take your level to the highest, to take your weapon to the highest level later on in the game. That's basically what your reward is for the end of his side quest. There are several of those in the game, so you'll be able to get one. You'll be able to get several others at other spots in the game. So you are not absolutely missing out if you kill him now, but you will be missing out on the rest of his side quests. My goal in this walkthrough is to do the NPC quest lines to the extent possible to show you guys how they play out. So I will not be killing him, but you do have that option if you did not use him as a merchant before and you want his stuff. So what you would do if you kill him, you would get his bell bearing. You would take his bell bearing to the maidens in the Roundtable Hold, and they would basically open up his shop there and sell it to you themselves if you give him the bell bearing that you would get from killing him. Okay, I'll drop on down here. Back here, there's a ghost. And we have our first Shabiri Grape. This is used for another NPC side quest coming up in just a little bit. Maiden, dear maiden, where are you? Please take my grapes. So these are a special item that you have to give a NPC that we're going to interact with in just a minute here. Let's check out the Shabiri grape, just for fun. It is, you see, item effect, yellow oozing eyeball of the infirm. A yellow oozing eyeball of the infirm. The surface is shriveled and the inside is squishy, not unlike a large, overly ripe grape. Give to the blind maiden to guide her to the distant light. So, sounds, ugh, yeah. But nonetheless, we need it. So, we have finally arrived at Liurnia. And I wish it weren't raining right now. So what I'm going to do, it's stealing my thunder, so to speak. So I'm going to... Did it stop raining? Yes, it did. So there's our maiden. We're going to talk to her in just a second. Look at this. Like, take this in for just a second. I mean, this is just gorgeous. Like, this is one of my favorite views of the game. And this is part of why I didn't want to just... There's some people who will just rush through the map and run through here at the very beginning of the game and get all this stuff. But in my opinion, if you do that, it kind of takes away from moments like this where it's like, we worked so hard to get through that castle, and then immediately after, we're just rewarded with this amazing view of the world that we're going to get to explore. And you can tell just how much work they put into this, how much care went into it, and it pays off. Like, I can't get enough of looking out here. It's just so amazing, and we're gonna get to explore all of that. Like, that's just insane. I love it. So anyway, here is our lady that we can give our grape to.
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hyetta, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light. If I might be so bold as to ask, would you donate any Shabiri grapes in your possession to me? My eyesight has been weak since birth, you see. I can't tell which way I'm supposed to go next, but when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel a distant light in the back of my eyes. It will lead me to my true duty as a finger maiden.
Okay. Gross as it may be, we're gonna do as she asks.
Oh, many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you. You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the
Okay. So let us rest here at this site of grace. Oh, man. I still can't get over it. So good. I love it. Let's see. I think if we have to rest until a certain time of day... What time is it now? It is early day. I'm going to rest until nighttime. And our friend Bach should be around here at some point. I think he only shows up at a certain time of day. I'm going to rest until morning, maybe. Unless... Did I forget to talk to him again? I think I did. Yes, Bach is still here. Okay, yeah, that's why. Because I wanted to carry on Bach's side quest, but I think we did not go back to give him the needle after we got it. Yep, there he is.
Oh. What are you doing here? You must leave this place at once. They'll rush in and beat you to a pulp. You'll end up just like me.
All right, we can give him the sewing needle that we got from killing the boss in this cave a long time ago.
Wait. Is that what I think it is? You got it back for me. My sewing needle.
Okay, so that he will not talk to you anymore. So what we just did is we gave him the sewing needle. We also have the tailoring kit, and I haven't gone over this yet. What this does is it allows you to alter your garments. So in most cases, what it does is it allows you, if your garment has a cape, it'll allow you to remove the cape, which actually, as you see, reduces the weight, but then it also reduces the damage negation. It is mainly for cosmetic purposes. The one exception being actually for the Land of Reeds armor, which is our samurai armor. It actually adds something to it, which makes it heavier and makes it actually increase its damage negation. But most other garments that you alter, we haven't really picked up many so far in the playthrough. What it'll do is it'll remove the cape. And as I said before, it is mostly for cosmetic purposes, and it will slightly, in most cases, lower the defense. We have to pay to do this at a site of grace. What Bach will do later is, since we gave him that needle, what he'll be able to do later is he will be willing to make those alterations for you for free. So his next spot that he goes to is here, which is why I was a little confused why I wasn't there. Then I realized, oh, I never went back and gave him the needle. So I'm going to rest here at this site of grace, and now he is there.
Good to see you, Master. Do you remember me? Bok, the demi-human. You helped me before and retrieved my sewing needle. Please, Master, allow me to serve you as your seamster. I can't make nothing from scratch, but I'm happy to make adjustments to your garments. Master, I was wondering, do you ever make adjustments to your garb yourself? I would, well, rather you let me do the job when possible, please. I don't ask anything in return, you know, and, well, I am your personal seamster after all.
Okay, so he will do it. He will alter our garments. And that's more or less his role. But he has a bit of a side quest that we're going to follow.
Oh, going so soon?
Not going to do anything right now.
Safe.
He kind of reminds me of Dobby from Harry Potter. Has that kind of vibe to him. What we're going to do now is, if you remember in the castle... Oh, we'll do that in just a minute. What we're going to do first is... Yes, we got here to the Limgrave Tower Bridge. We're going to activate the Great Rune. Pick this up. The Bolt Drake Talisman reduces lightning damage. So on this bridge are going to be 3 giant golems. The one at the very end is going to have a bow and arrow. We're going to take him out first. He's the most threatening, I would say. I'm going to throw on my lamp just because I'd like to have my lantern on. So we're going to run past this one. And run past that one, because the one at the very end is going to try to shoot us. You can just run straight past all these guys. Like, it doesn't even matter. Fighting these, you can just run straight past them. And you can hide behind these little pillars here, and it'll block the arrows. Or if you're right underneath him, he's not going to be able to shoot you either. So, charged heavies on the legs, just as before. And you don't have to kill them. As I said, you can run right past them. I just like to fight stuff, you know? Combat is fun in this game. So you see that the second one got to us right as we were trying to fight this one. Fortunately, we got the stagger and are able to get our critical. Now we can focus on the third one by itself. Yeah, that attack is probably one of the deadliest, when he stomps right in front of him with his axe. Because it's hard to get past him to get hits in, and you're vulnerable kind of right underneath him. How did that not knock him over? There we go. Oh, was his... There we go. I was about to say, I was afraid he was turned around the other way, and I was afraid that that stairway was going to be blocking his weak point. Okay. So now that he's out of the way... Oh, we got the Golem's Halberd as a drop. That's a random drop, not guaranteed. We got the Warming Stone from down there. So here is the gate that's going to teleport us to the other side. As you can see, this bridge is broken up. You can't just go straight across it. However, down here are some items. Very easy to miss these. So we got the Art of War Scarab. This reduces your FP cost for special skills on your weapons, like your weapon art, basically. However, I think it increases your damage taken, so it's a trade-off. And we got some soft cotton to reduce fall damage. And there is a way you can just hop back up to where we were before and take the sending gate to get to where we're going. Okay, now we're on the other side. And there is some stuff over here that we're going to get as well. Unfortunately, there are some of these Stormhawks. On the bright side, these Stormhawks do not have swords on their feet, so not quite as deadly as their counterparts in Stormveil Castle were. Still annoying, still very evasive, and still hard to hit in the air. Got a couple more of them over here. Just kind of swinging aimlessly, hoping one of my swings is going to hit him. Oh my gosh, come on. There we go. All right, got a silver pickled foul foot. And over here, Stormhawk Feather times 5. Okay. Unfortunately, you cannot summon your horse here. Got to do all this on foot. It is a long bridge. But this is our Divine Tower that we're going to be able to use to activate Godrick's rune. So you could actually get to these doors before. We just went to this side of Grace and then turned around. You can go all the way out here before we even get the rune. If you get to these doors before having the rune in your inventory, these doors just will not open. You cannot open these doors until you have the rune. So now we got a big old elevator, and we're going to go up and up and up and up. Fun little elevator ride. Okay. So up here we have a site of grace. Not that we're ever going to need to come back here. All the way at the top. We can activate our great rune. Okay, so we have Godrick's great rune. Great rune of the Shardbearer Godrick. Its blessing raises all attributes. This great rune is known as the anchor ring found in the center of the Elden Ring. The first demigods were Elden Lord Godfrey and his offspring, the Golden Lineage. So this is not going to do anything until, well, a couple things. The first thing is we have to equip it, and you can equip these things at Sites of Grace. What we're going to do now is we're going to warp here to the Church of Pilgrimage, because if you remember at Stormveil Castle, we interacted with another one of the paintings. So if you interact with the painting, it's going to be in your inventory. And this is the Prophecy painting. And so what we're going to do now is much like this first painting that we did, we're going to go to the spot where the painting depicts, I guess. And then we're going to be able to pick up a new item. So if you look at the painting, you see you can kind of see Stormveil Castle there in the background looking from afar. There's a waterfall. So here's the waterfall. There's Stormveil Castle, and there is our artist. Now we can now pick up the item. And you cannot do this until you find the painting. So even if we knew this spot was where to go from getting the painting, this does not trigger until you actually find the painting itself. So we get the Warhawk ashes, so we can actually summon those Warhawks that have the swords on their feet. That's available to us now. What I want to do now is I'm going to go to this Everjail. It is time to fight the Crucible Knight in the Everjail, who I think is harder than the Crucible Knight that we fought at Stormveil Castle. However, Crucible Knights are they're not common, but you're going to encounter more than just a few of them throughout your playthrough, so it's a good idea to learn how to fight them. I will say on my first playthrough, this Crucible Knight, actually I killed him before Stormveil Castle, I believe, but it took me a long time. It took me probably an hour's worth of trying, an hour's worth of learning his moves. There's kind of two ways you can go about this fight as a melee player. One being dodging his attacks and punishing when you have an opening. The other being parrying. My goal is going to show you both. Actually, I prefer the parry method, so I'm going to equip the buckler. If you're going to try to parry him, I would suggest equipping the buckler as well, because as I said in the last episode, the buckler has an enhanced parry window. So it is a bit more generous with the parries than using just a regular shield that has the parry ability equipped. So we're going to fight the Crucible Knight. And as I said, I think he's a bit harder than the one at Stormveil Castle. But it's a good skill check for this point in the game. So once you walk towards this blue aura, he's going to show up. So what you can do is his attacks are fairly relentless. But, the windups are pretty pronounced. So they are definitely dodgeable. The thing is this guy has just ridiculous poise. So you're not going to be staggering him for a front side riposte. Just by doing like super armor damage to him like we've done with other enemies. He's not going to be knocked back by our weapon. So what I suggest doing is if you don't want to parry him, you can dodge his attacks, and there's a shield bash attack, and then just dodge his attacks and hit when you have an opening. So here he has a ground stomp and a combo. Once his combo's done, you can get a hit in. It's a matter of just kind of learning his moves and what he does. So he does 2 more hits here. Dodge through them all, you can get a hit. Do his ground stomp here. You can do 2 more hits again. So you see, he does have kind of a pattern that he follows. It's a matter of learning his possible move combinations and knowing when you can get a swipe in. Always want to dodge that shield bash attack. He's gonna do 2 more swings here. You can hit him with a swing when he's done. That's kind of your opening. So that's how you would do it, based on just dodging his attacks and punishing when you have openings. Now I'm going to show you the parries. He has several parryable attacks. Pretty much you can parry. You might even be able to parry his stab, that stab that he does. I'm not sure. If you do, it's his hardest move to parry. But that overhead slash that he does right there, that's my favorite move to parry, where he slashes from my left to my right, up to down. That is my favorite attack to parry. That's probably the easiest one to get. But here, I'll show you some parries now. This one, whoops, I missed the window there, but I got his follow-up. And since I have the talisman equipped that recovers my health every time I do a critical, very helpful for this fight. So again, you want to parry kind of right when his attack is about to land on you. Like right before is when you want to press the parry button. Now, as I said, most of his attacks are parryable. And I'm making this look easy, but believe me when I say it took me a long time to get this parry timing down on him. It took me over an hour, easily over an hour. You always want to dodge his stomp attack because his stomp attack will do basically ground damage to you and it'll stagger you. But there is his overhead, left to right, up to down slash attack that I like to parry. He's gonna transform now if he hasn't already. Yeah, there he goes. So when he transforms, he's gonna fly straight at you. Just dodge straight through his attack. And he also has this tail whip attack. There he does 2 in a row. You can dodge through his tail whip attack as well. There's his stab attack. I do not like to try to parry a stab attack because I'm never successful at it. There's that attack that I like to see. In my opinion, the easiest of his attacks to parry. Dodge straight through this. 1, 2 on the tail whips. And if you're close to him, he is just going to... he'll do a quick tail whip. If you need to heal, you need to run away from him pretty far because he will charge at you and punish you if you heal right next to him. So you need a gap to heal. Otherwise, he's going to charge right at you and punish you. So you can parry that attack where he kind of drags a sword on the ground. The timing is kind of funky, but you can do it. Right there when he's about to throw his sword up in the air, you can do your parry and you'll get him. I'm going to do R1, and this should be it. So that is the Crucible Knight. The parry method is probably the harder to learn, but it's, in my opinion, the most surefire way once you get it down for killing these guys, because as I said, you're going to be fighting a lot of them. Probably 10 to 15 of them throughout the playthrough. And so it is good for you to learn how to beat them reliably. Whichever method you choose, it's good for you to be able to kill them reliably. That's all I will say. What we're going to do now is we're going to head back to Roundtable Hold because there's a lot of things that have happened since we got past Stormveil Castle that I want to take you through. First thing being this room behind us is opened up. And so this is where you go to turn in your remembrances if you want to use them.
Are you that new tarnished? You've done well. I am Enya, the Finger Reader. I interpret the words of the fingers, envoys to the greater will. Look there. The fingers tremble to welcome you, Shardbearer. Let their wisdom wash over you.
Great Elden Ring, root of the Golden Order, anchor of all lands, giver of grace, wellspring of all joy. Until it was shattered, the tragic corruption of the Order has taken its toll. Across the realm, life lies in ruin, fallen to pieces. Foul curses and misery spread, unabating. But the greater will has not abandoned the realm, nor the life that inhabits it. So it is that the tarnished are guided by grace, called to act. Brave tarnished, your great rune is a handsome shard of the Elden Ring. Seek another of its kind, to become Elden Lord and restore the Golden Order.
Let the words of the fingers guide you. Well, I see. A remembrance of gold has found its way into your possession. Demigods and even the greater of the champions are hewn by the Earth Tree upon their end into remembrances. They are valuable. valuable indeed. These remembrances yet house the power of their former masters. And should you wish to wield that same power, well, I will lend you the strength of the fingers. Oh, do not recoil from my offer. The fingers guide us all. And you, Tarnished, you are here to take, are you not?
Okay, so here we can trade in our remembrances for, as I said, either weapons or spells, depending on the boss that you kill. In this case, we can get Godrick's axe or his Grafted dragon weapon. If you want one of these, you can turn in your remembrance. If you remember when we found the mausoleum on the Weeping Peninsula,
Now go let the words of the finger.
if you remember the mausoleum that we found on the Weeping Peninsula, basically that giant turtle, you can go here and you can duplicate your remembrances. So let's say if you want both the axe and the Grafted dragon, you can duplicate this remembrance that you have and get both of those weapons if you would like. There's 7 mausoleums total, so that means that there's 7 remembrances that you can duplicate if you want both offerings of that remembrance. Alternatively, you can pull it up in your inventory and you can consume it for runes if you don't want either of them. Let's see, she also has a thing about great runes.
Great runes are the stuff of demigods. The children of the goddess, Queen Marika. She who is vessel of the Elden Ring. Tainted by the strength of their runes, her children warred, but none could become Elden Lord. And so grace was extended to your kind, the Tarnished. Listen, the fingers speak.
The greater will has long renounced the demigods. Tarnished, show no mercy. Have their heads. Take all they have left.
Indeed. But remember one thing. The demigods are each and all the direct offspring of Queen Marika. Godrick the Grafted was but a distant relation, the runt of the litter. His divine blood sorely diluted.
Okay.
Now go let the...
So we can equip great runes now because we activated, or we can equip a great rune because we activated Godrick's great rune. So now we can go here to the Great Runes menu. The Great Rune menu, you can equip Great Runes that have had their power restored. You can use a Rune Arc to give even greater benefits to your equipped Great Runes. So we can equip Godrick's Great Rune. You see now up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, we have that emblem kind of showing there, showing that that's the one we have equipped. They will not gain their power until you use an item that's called a Rune Arc. We don't have any of those yet, but what those do is those kind of trigger the power of a great rune. What the Godrick's great rune does is it basically gives you 5 points into each of your stats. So it's almost as if you leveled up 5 in each of the categories, which is a great benefit. So that gives you 5 extra HP, 5 extra endurance, 5 extra strength, dexterity, intelligence, etc. So it's like getting a bunch of extra levels when you use it. Now the downside is that if you die, then the Great Rune loses its power again. And if you want to power it up again, you're going to have to use another Rune Arc. Rune Arcs are relatively rare. We don't have any yet. We're going to find some later and throughout the world, and some merchants also sell them. Probably the most important thing we're going to do here, though, is talk to Rodrika and advance her quest line. She is going to be the one who upgrades our spirit summons.
Greetings. Nice to see you again. My name is Rodrika. I should have told you sooner. Isn't this place impressive, though? The Roundtable Hold. Covert quarters of the Two Fingers. And gathering place of champions who vie to become Elden Lord. I never knew the guidance bestowed upon us Tarnished had such fantastic roots. Although, it's all a bit much for me, in truth. I'm still looking for my own purpose. Oh, and Please allow me to express my thanks for giving me that keepsake from my men. It was as if I was frozen with self-pity. I failed them at every turn. You have my gratitude. Please, take this.
Okay, so she gives us a golden seed as our reward for, we gave her the chrysalids memo. We found that memo at the castle. We took it back to her at her shack, and that is our reward. Depending on which route you took, she might be here as soon as you get to Roundtable Hold. It really just depends. If you explored a lot of the world before coming here first, she might already be here. So if you still want that golden seed, if you did not follow the quest that I followed, but she was already here when you got here, what you can do is you can actually go back to the Stormhill Shack, which is where we found her in the first place, and then that golden seed will basically be where she was sitting originally. So you don't miss out on that golden seed. She gave it to us now because we followed her quest line, but if you did not follow her quest line and then you just find her showing up at the Roundtable Hold, and if she doesn't give you the golden seed in that dialogue, you can warp right back here and get it right here. So just so you know. So what we have to do now to get her to become the Spirit Ash Tuner is we have to go back here and talk to the blacksmith.
Now, look at you. Love a challenger, fine and well.
So we can talk about Rodrika.
The girly boy here. She's crestfallen and can scarcely swing a blade. But she has a gift for spirit tuning. I saw another one like her long ago. Their eyes share the same hue.
Okay, so now we go back and talk to her.
It's all a bit much for me, in truth. I'm still looking for my own.
So we can tell her what the blacksmith said.
Telling me I possess some kind of gift. I don't believe you. But if I do have this talent, and goodness knows it would be my first, I suppose I should try to hone it, shouldn't I? I'll ask Master Hugh to teach me. Certainly he does appear intimidating and holds no love for us tarnished. But I know he's trapped here at the Roundtable Hold, so I can tell. He's a gentle soul underneath it all.
All right, so now I got to go back and talk to him again. You have to do all of this in order... Whoops, wrong way. You have to do all of this in order for her to be able to level up your spirit summons, which is important. Makes them much beefier and able to last a lot longer in boss fights.
Already. No matter. The girl. What about her? Are you out of your mind? Who'd stay with an ugly brute who only knows how to smith? Absurd. Besides, she'd never agree to it. I refuse to believe it. I don't doubt you, but I know when something's too good to be true.
Okay. Now I go back and talk to her. I know it sounds like a tedious process, but it is worth it.
If I do have a talent for... I suppose I should... I'll ask
All right, so rest. Now she is gone. So she relocates right next to the blacksmith. And I went the wrong way again. Here we go.
Oh, your divinity, have mercy and grant me forgiveness. The road is yet long. A god is not easily felled. But one day without fail you will have your wish. So please grant me forgiveness, Queen Marika.
Okay, so now we can talk to her.
Good to see you again. I have you to thank, don't I? For persuading Master Hugh. I can happily announce that he has taught me the noble toil of spirit tuning. I'm as yet unsure of what I might be able to accomplish, but if I might be able to help you all, I'd certainly like to try. And if there's any chance to ease the suffering of my dear men who were grafted, well, I certainly must try. Rodrika, the Spirit Tuner Apprentice. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Okay, so now we can level up our spirit summons. With the spirit tuning menu, you can spend runes and grave gloveworts to strengthen your spirits that you summon from ashes. To strengthen named spirits, you'll need ghost glove wards. Okay, so we can take our wolves up to level 2. And then over here, we can take Lutul, the Headless, up. I am going to be summoning him when we get the flask power up that negates your FP consumption, because he is a very good summon. We just don't have the FP. He costs 104 and we only have 71. So we will be summoning him when we get that upgrade, but that's not going to be for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and level him up as well. And I'm going to pop some runes here because I also want to level up my katana to as high as I can get it right now. Just in case there's a situation later on where I will want to use it again, it'll be as strong as it can be. We do not have a Somber Stone 3 yet, so we cannot level up our Bloodhound Fang, but we should be able to level up our katana a bit. So it's at +5. We can get it to +6 and +7. So we now have a +7 Uji katana. Pretty solid for this point in the game. Fee also has some additional dialogue for us since we killed Godrick.
I am pleased. Would you like?
So let her hold you again. Remember, she's going to give you that item that gives you the HP debuff. So if you want to get rid of the debuff, use the item right away, which we're going to do.
You are so.
Okay. We get the blessing. So what we can do is we can now talk in secret, and this unlocks more dialogue for her.
I was known as a deathbed companion. Where I come from, after I received the warmth and lively vigor from a number of champions, I lay with the remains of an exalted noble. To grant him another chance at life, to do so is the purpose of my being. But before I could bear the noble into new life, I was awakened by the guidance of grace and chased from my birthplace. Pray, be kind. Despite all that, I still wish to be a deathbed companion. So please, let me hold you like this, as often as it takes. Then good day to you, my dear.
Okay. So this is not required to advance her quest line, but it's just a little bit more about her, a little bit of lore. But not required to do this to advance her quest line, just so you know. So we are going to use this Baldekin's Blessing to get rid of the HP debuff. You can keep it in inventory if you want to use it, but just know that as long as you have it in your inventory, you're going to have the debuff as well. Let's see, other things to do in here. We talked to Nefeli at Stormveil Castle. So she is relocated back to Roundtable Hold. Right here. Make sure you exhaust her dialogue to advance her quest line.
I thought you'd receive a summons to the round table. Nefeli Lu. We met at Stormveil. I'm glad to see you here. I have something for you. I found it in Godrick's grafting grounds. You were the one to defeat him, I would hazard. Make good use of it. I don't intend to make a habit of scavenging corpses.
Okay, so she gives us the Arsenal Charm, which increases your maximum equip load, which is pretty solid. If you want to wear some heavier stuff, you can equip this talisman, and it'll allow you to keep your load down so that way you can hopefully still have your medium equipment threshold and be able to roll faster.
Ah, yes. I wonder if you've met my foster father. He's in his study. The room entries guarding just over there. If you haven't already, I advise you introduce yourself. Father is leader of the Round Table. I'm sure talking to him will be worth your while.
Okay. And again, over here is the merchant. If you killed Gostok and got his bell bearing, you can offer it here, and then that will basically make his shop available right here as well. So you can purchase rune arcs from them. As I said, rune arcs are the item required to activate your great rune that you have equipped. So we're not going to get the benefit of that great rune until you use a rune arc, and that rune arc will be active until you die. So as soon as you die, that the effect wears off. In order to regain the effect, you'll have to use another rune arc. Rune arcs are consumables, and there are, I think you can technically farm them, but it takes a while, and so I consider them a finite resource. And so in here we have Gideon Ofnir, Nefeli's adopted father.
Have you not? Then I bid you welcome as a true member of the Round Table. I am known as Gideon Ofnir, as a tarnished who wishes to stand before the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord. I am accumulating knowledge, to be all-knowing. You now belong to a select group of fellows. As such, I ask that you remain constant. You'll be after more great runes now, eh? Then as your fellow, allow me to divulge a little knowledge. The inheritors of the great runes, the Shard Bearers. We of the Round Table know the location of 5 of them, including the one you defeated. Godrick the Grafted, Lord of Stormveil. General Radahn, who fought Malenia and her rot to a standstill in the Caelid Wilds. Praetor Rykard, Lord of the Volcano Manor of Mount Gelmir. Morgott the Grace-Given, Veiled Monarch and Lord of Leyndell. And Renala, Queen of the Full Moon, ruler of Rhea Lucaria's Academy. You'll still be after more great runes, won't you?
Okay, so she will give you a spiel on all of these. That's going to be a bit of dialogue. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave here. At the very end of the episode, I'm going to go through each one of these for those of you who want to learn more about it. For those of you who don't, that will give you the opportunity. You can just shut off the video right there and not have to worry about it. And just know that the only thing they're missing is going to be his dialogue. What we're going to do now is, I believe Vare has moved as well since we killed Godrick. So he leaves behind a gesture and a little note for us. So we're going to check that out just to be thorough. So yeah, check this out. Find yourself maidenless, off to Liurnia with you then. Seek the Rose Church west of the gate town. So that's where he went next, is Rose Church. And he gives us the Bravo gesture. So I am going to go back to Roundtable Hold. And as I said, I'm going to exhaust Gideon's dialogue. That's all I'm going to do from now to the rest of the episode. So if you just want to go straight to the next one, go for it. If you want to hear what he has to say, then stick around and you can dive into all of that with me as well. Just wanted to give you guys the option. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to him. And for those of you skipping on, I will see you in the next one. For those of you sticking around, then let's go.
You.
First, Godrick, who we just killed at Stormveil.
So, Godrick the Grafted, Lord of Stormveil. Despite being the blood of Godfrey, first Elden Lord, he's a grotesque old fool grasping for power. His castle lies upon the cliff to Limgrave's northwest, but I suspect you know that well enough already. General Radahn, the famed Red Lion and Scourge of the Stars, is a ferocious warrior. He fought Malenia and her rot to a standstill in the Caelid Wilds to Limgrave's east. And now Caelid has been engulfed by the Scarlet Rot. Even approaching the region is no mean feat. I've heard survivors of Radahn's army are still in the wilds, staving off the rot with fire. And if it's true, I suspect Radahn is still there as well, in Caelid. Though, I doubt he much resembles his former self anymore. Praetor Rykard is the Lord of the Volcano Manor on Mount Gelmir. He is a ruthless justiciar who commands a company of inquisitors, reviled for his serpentine demeanor. The volcano, Mount Gelmir, lies in the west of the Altus Plateau, the realm of the Erd Tree. It was the stage of the most appalling battle in the entirety of the Shattering. Rykard has committed the grave sin of blasphemy, marking himself as an enemy never to be forgiven. Morgott the Grace-Given is Lord of Leyndell, the capital city. It lies at the foot of the Erd Tree, in the east of the Altus Plateau. But the Two Fingers forbid us from venturing there. Until we've acquired enough great runes to repair the Elden Ring. Set your sights elsewhere for the time being. The Veiled Monarch can wait. The Academy of Rhea Lucaria lies to Limgrave's north, towering over the mist-laden lands of Liurnia. Renala is queen of the Carian royals, who govern the Academy. But Renala herself is no demigod. Her beloved Radagon left her to become Queen Marika's second husband, taking the title of King Consort. The Great Rune dwells within the amber egg that was Radagon's gift to her. I understand you've been speaking to Nepheli. She's my daughter. I took her in when she lost the guidance of grace. Though a mere axe-wielding barbarian, her youthful credulity suited my purposes. So I put her to work. Do not hesitate to employ her. Should her services benefit you, despite her looks, she is more than capable in the press of battle.
All right, so that is it. That is where we're going to cut it right here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Have a great day.